Photography, which established itself as an essential means of documentation in the late 19th century, captured countless fragments of social life, including everyday life on the United States frontier. Among the most striking portraits of the time are those of prostitutes, who posed in their private spaces. These images offer a rare window into the lives of these women, revealing details of their environments and personal existences. In the 1870s, Death Valley witnessed a significant innovation in transportation, driven by the need to extract borax, a valuable mineral found in the region. Given the vastness and aridity of the Great Basin Desert, traditional transportation methods proved insufficient. The answer came in the form of robust caravans, each pulled by 20 strong and resilient mules. These animals became vital to the success of the operation, capable of traversing the inhospitable desert conditions with heavy loads of borax. In the photograph, Black Elk is seen on the left, standing out as a central figure in two notable episodes of American history. He was one of the combatants at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, a notorious confrontation that pitted the American Army against several Great Plains tribes, including the Lakota Sioux. Quanah Parker is a legendary figure in Comanche history, marked by a trajectory of profound adversities and significant achievements. Born to Cynthia Ann Parker, a white woman captured by the Comanches as a child and later assimilated by them, Quanah emerged as a formidable leader during periods of great tension. He excelled in leading his people in resistance against the invaders who hunted buffalo, an activity that threatened the traditional way of life of the Comanches. The image captures two women striking refined poses in an opulent room, which is part of a brothel in Miles, Montana. During this era, a local judge described the town, with its approximately 1,000 inhabitants, as a place notorious for its moral decadence and lack of law and order. This photo depicts a cowboy from Caldwell, Kansas, dressed in traditional attire specially designed to withstand the demands of his work and the surrounding environment. With a keen eye on climatic variations and terrain characteristics, cowboys often chose chaps, which are reinforced coverings worn over pants to protect the legs during hard work. This image records the last time George Armstrong Custer was photographed, a man who adored the camera's attention. During his lifetime, Custer was the subject of more than 150 portraits. Notably, this photograph was taken just 2 months before one of the most emblematic events in American history, the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876. During the 1850s, the ambrotype, a technique using glass plates to create more accessible images, began to gain popularity over daguerreotypes, the forerunners of photography. The identity of the man in this specific ambrotype is unknown, but the photograph is considered one of the most intriguing portraits of the American Old West. In Greenwood County, Kansas, a group of pioneers pauses on their journey, gathering under the shade of their covered wagon for a picnic. These wagons were fundamental for those crossing vast distances in search of new lands and opportunities, marking an era of great adventures and discoveries. At the dawn of the 20th century, Joella Irwin emerged as one of the pioneers in the rodeo scene, an arena previously reserved for men. Her trajectory was marked by an impressive presence in equestrian competitions, where her technique and agility not only broke gender barriers, but also earned her notable distinction among competitors. Dated 1884, this cabinet card photograph captures a scene on the San Carlos Reservation, Arizona, representing a common style of imagery from that period. The historical value of this photo is immense, as it is believed to be the first image of Geronimo, an Apache leader who would become one of the most iconic cultural figures. Jesse James, a name that echoes through the history of the American Old West, was the most prominent member of the infamous James Younger gang. Under his leadership, the gang perpetrated numerous robberies, establishing their infamy. His life, marked by criminal adventures, came to a sudden and tragic end with his assassination in 1882. During the era of American expansion, Kit Carson became an icon, living a life full of adventures on various fronts. In addition to being a renowned fur trapper and explorer, Carson was an exceptional mountaineer. His fame increased even more when he served as a guide for John Pathfinder Fremont, one of the most emblematic figures of American exploration. This photograph, dated around 1880, still holds enigmas about who the depicted figures are. Some historians speculate that the standing man might be John Kinney, a notable crime figure. In 1875, Kinney became famous for leading a gang of thieves known for their activities in southern New Mexico. Pearl Hart stood out in the Old West for her participation in one of the last stagecoach robberies, which occurred in 1899. This audacious episode not only fixed her in historical memory, but also elevated her to national celebrity status. Her trajectory gained widespread attention after being featured in Cosmopolitan magazine, further increasing her renown. Rose Dunn, affectionately nicknamed Rose of Cimarron, achieved early fame at 15. In 1895, in the town of Ingalls in the wild Oklahoma Territory, she stood out in an episode that became legendary. During a violent shootout, Rose acted bravely by assisting her boyfriend, a famous outlaw, trapped in the midst of a confrontation between lawmen and criminals. Texas. John Slaughter is a legendary figure in the historical landscape of the United States, having initially gained notoriety as a Texas Ranger during the Civil War. After the conflict, he ventured into the cattle industry, where he found success and prosperity. He eventually established his final ranch near Douglas, Arizona. A striking photograph from 1885 vividly captures this era of his life, serving as an eloquent testament to his dedication and impact during those years. Olive Oatman is an emblematic figure of courage and adaptation. Kidnapped by the Mojave, she not only survived but was integrated into the tribe. As part of this integration, Olive received a distinctive blue tattoo on her chin, made with cactus-derived ink. This tattoo was not just decorative but deeply symbolic, representing a Mojave belief that it would help in the transition to the afterlife. The Texas Rangers are a legendary Texas law enforcement agency, with origins dating back to the early 1800s. Initially created unofficially by Stephen Austin in 1823, they were officially recognized in 1835. Throughout Texas's rich history, the Rangers have been crucial in capturing outlaws and defending the state's borders, significantly contributing to maintaining local order and security. Mark Lee Gardner made an incredible discovery in an antique store in Missouri, a previously unknown photo capturing a rare scene from the Old West. The image shows a woman who appears to be a rancher, providing a fascinating glimpse into a little documented aspect of life during that time. Tiburcio Vasquez, an infamous name among Hispanic bandits of the Old West, had a criminal career that spanned nearly 2 decades. His illicit activities included theft and robbery. The discussed photograph, dated around 1865, captures this enigmatic character. Vasquez was not only known for his criminal acts, but also for his ability to evade authorities and the influence he wielded over other criminals of that era. Cowboys are emblematic symbols of the Old West and played a crucial role in cattle management. They often visited photography studios, where they posed for portraits wearing their favorite work attire, ensuring their figures were preserved for posterity. Bill Doolin, a notorious outlaw in the Oklahoma Territory, gained infamy by topping the most wanted lists with a substantial reward for his capture. In August 1896, his crime saga ended brutally. During a confrontation with Heck Thomas, a famous American sheriff, Doolin was shot around 20 times, violently ending his criminal career. During the funeral of Tom McClory, Frank McClory, and Billy Clanton, the mourners carried a powerful and emotional message: murdered in the streets of Tombstone. This slogan reflected the sadness and outrage over the loss of these lives in the famous OK Corral shootout in 1881, a notable event of the Old West. The phrase symbolized the sense of injustice and mourning that surrounded that tragic occasion. At the height of the Alaskan gold rush in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Kate Rockwell stood out as an exceptional performer. She captivated miners with her vibrant performances, which included popular dances and songs of the time. Kate was known for her dynamic presentations and dazzling red chiffon dresses, bringing a touch of glamour to the austere Alaskan scene and quickly becoming a beloved figure among her audience. In this 1865 dated image, we have an authentic portrait of Wild Bill Hickok, famous for being one of the most fearless gunslingers of the Old West. Here he is captured in his everyday attire, a striking contrast to other photographs where he appears in extravagant and theatrical outfits. This photograph offers a more genuine glimpse into Hickok's personal style and fashion preferences during that period. In 1876, during the height of cattle drives, a photograph taken in Dodge City, Kansas, recorded a historic moment. Bat Masterson and Wyatt Earp, two renowned lawmen of the Old West, posing together. This portrait not only immortalizes the iconic duo, but also underscores the significance of their collaboration during a crucial period in United States history.